Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's Jimmy Bratcher. I'm trying to do a live stream, and I'm just here working on my pedal board today and thought y'all might want to hang out a little bit. So I'll try and figure out where the camera is. I have a camera here with a prompter, and I have a camera up there, or a screen up there. So it's a little bit different. Hang on a second. Working on resetting my pedal board, which I have here. That's I got it all torn apart, so I'm working on trying to figure out how I'm going to put it back together. And I thought you might like to work on it with me. Just hang out. We can talk through some pedals and do some stuff like that. Hang on a second. I'm trying to put a link up here on Facebook for everybody that's on Facebook. So give me a minute and we'll see if anybody wants to join in. We'll see what happens. If not, what's a mother to do? You just hang out anyway. So I'm working on my board. I have been considering rebuilding it. I was thinking about doing a couple of nano boards like this, small flat boards, but haven't really decided on it yet. So I like a flat board, and I don't like these boards are great because you put the power supply down here. You don't have to worry about it. Let me see if I can move this tab down here so I'm looking in the camera when I'm working with y'all. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. So if you come live, send me a comment so that at least I'll know that you're there. But anyway, I've been thinking about doing a couple of these because I have 7 pedals that I want to put on the board. And I thought about, then it's like I got to connect them together. So I thought about doing like a nano board, which is smaller than this, and this, or 2 smaller boards, and then having them just on stage separated. But I have this flat board here that I've used for a long, long time. And I really like it because it's flat. It doesn't have, I don't have this height, which, it's about an inch and a half, something like that. It ain't much. All right, it's an inch and a half. And then you have the pedal stacked on top of that, which is, another, inch plus the switch, which is, that makes it like all total, it's like 3 inches. So for an old guy to be dancing around on stage doing stuff like that, I might lose my balance and fall off or something. So that's part of the deal. So, that's part of the dealio. Let me see if this link works and if people can actually find this from Facebook. That's a good idea. I tried to do it on Facebook, man. I just could not figure the thing out. Yeah, it's right there. So that's cool. That's very cool. So anyway, so here's what I have. I was working on Pedalboard planner. Do y'all use that? It's a it's a thing that Pedal Train puts out, and you can put your. So I guess that didn't work. Yeah, there it is. So anyway, so I have this board all put together. Be nice if I didn't like move it all around weird. So moving the whole thing. So anyway, so I have this board all put together. So here's what I'm thinking about doing. The absolute necessities on this board are this pedal size, in that I needed to size it. I have another pedal that I'll explain in a minute. And then I have the Vimaran Shanks pedal, which is a fuzz pedal. And I use that mainly live as a boost. So you can see settings aren't too far off from, well, they are. And so I use that, run that into this Jan Ray pedal, which is a Vimaran pedal also. So it's supposed to emulate a Fender amp on 6, which is supposed to be the sweet spot. Hey, somebody's live on here. I see you. Thank you for joining. Supposed to be the sweet spot. And then I'll run out of this up here to an absolute essential on my pedal board, which is the Fixer by Brown Amplifications. They're a company here in town that I love this pedal. It's like I said, it's like a gotta have. I'm not putting a pedal board together without using that pedal, and here's why. So it's a Cornish buffer clone. And if you know anything about Pete Cornish pedals, they're super expensive and just crazy. Hey, we got 2 people here. How you doing, y'all? We're running the crowd, man. We're breaking the internet. So anyway, so the Brown amplification fixer. So it's got a single input. It's got dual boosts. So the silver one is a boost, and then the red one is supposed to be a Z-Rec boost clone. And then it's got an output and a tuner out, which I love. It's got an A/B switch to switch between the tuners, and a mute button so you can mute it when you're tuning. Your tuner's on all the time, and so it's running through there all the time, but you can mute it so it mutes it. So I love this pedal, and here's how I use it. I use it as a master volume. So I barely, if ever, will use the red side. I'll use it if I'm switching from a guitar that I want, like I'm playing an overdriven guitar and the Jan Ray's on all the time, and I shut it off, and then I come back to a clean sound, and it's just not quite as loud. You ever have that? Or you're going from humbuckers to a single coil, and it's not quite as loud. And then I'll kick on this red side. But the silver side, I use a master volume. So it comes after all of the drives. So this yellow drive is actually, I have a clone of an Ampeg Scrambler that JHS built me, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, back when they built pedals or would do custom work. And I use it. I'll explain that in a minute. But anyway, so it comes, this is my overdrive section. So it comes out of the overdrive into the Brown, and then I can set my levels. So if I like the tone that's coming out of this, but I'm just too loud, I can just go and turn this thing down, and that sets it up, and it's ready to go. And I run my amp. I'm running 2 amps, both of them built by Jeff Gearing here in Kansas City. I have, 5 or 6 of his amps, and I run those pretty hot. So I'm running them in their sweet spot, which is about 7. And so they're pretty loud. But if it's too loud for the room, then I can come here and just turn this silver boost knob down, and it doesn't lose any. It doesn't seem to vary it. Like if you get it really quiet, it does. You can tell, but for the most part, it's doing that. So anyway, then out of this, back out of this, back into this pedal, which is not a direct representation. Actually, it looks more like this because I just got this, which is a Keeley rotary, and they did that rotary in cooperation with Sweetwater for their Beach Boys thing, and that's the only one this pedal planner had on it. So I come into that mono, I come out of that stereo, I run into this Delverb, which I'm just trying out. I'm not a big delay guy. I'm trying to figure it out. So if you know a lot about delay, then help me. And then I run into the Flint. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get into the Flint stereo and out stereo. But in running two amplifiers, you have to have an isolation transformer or something to keep them from not being on the same ground. So one side runs out of the Flint directly to an amplifier, and the other side runs into this Lychee piezo, and then it runs out of that into the amplifier. This is not powered, so it's just passive. And so anyway, so that is my what I'm getting ready to build. So hopefully it gives you some insight into that. Hang on, I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out. So I have my board here, and I'm working on trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And here is the sorry, it's upside down. Here, I'll turn it right side up. So this pedal is the JHS clone of an Ampeg Scrambler, and I play this thing. I play it in different settings, like on the song "My Name Is Sinner," the solo in that, you'll hear this cranked up. But a lot of times, I'm always trying to be conscious of my volume in small rooms, because I like playing small rooms. But I don't want to go to an amp simulator. I have several. I mean, I have a bunch of them. You name them, I've have them or have them. I don't like going to an amp simulator. So I use the Ampeg Scrambler to just barely on. I mean, like if you can see it, it's kind of just barely on. And what it does is it just by itself, it just sounds like a broken up amplifier. So it kind of stacks on top of the tone, but it gives you a lot of sustain. And I've done this before for my friend Jim Richards. I did this for him using a different pedal completely. And I just used it the same way. So an octave fuzz, and just turned it way down so that it just was buzzing, kind of fuzzing in the background. And so the Shanks, I use that as my overdrive or my boost. So the Jan Ray's on pretty much all the time. It's kind of just right at the edge of breakup, maybe a little more. And then when I want to do a lead solo, I kick on the Shanks. And what it does is it brings the tone, it boosts the low end, so it's not so shrill, because I play a lot on a bridge pickup. And then it gives it that punch that it needs to really come sticking out of the solo section. So I got all that stuff going on. I'm taking off of my board some pedals that I dearly love. For now, we'll see how the Delverb actually works. Taking off the Add Echo by Caitlin Bread, and this is an oil can delay emulator. I'm taking off this magnetic echo that I bought cheap at Mass Street Music in Lawrence, Kansas. And I'm taking off this pedal, which I really love, which is the Keeley 30 millisecond double tracker. The main thing I love about this is it's got a great chamber reverb on it. So anyway, so I'm doing all that stuff. I make up all of my own pedals, all of my own cables. So I have been doing that now for a few years. So there's a great video that Mason Marangello from Vertec Effects has on YouTube that teaches you everything you need to know about making these. I'm also making I'm making the ends for my power cables. I'm using a Chox power supply, and these things are great. And so I do all that stuff myself, so I'm not going to show you all that stuff. So anyway, so I'm getting ready to wire all this stuff up, and hopefully the two of you, this means something to you. If you have any questions, just holler at me and let me know in the chat, or send me an email, or something on Facebook, something like that, just to see what's going on. I put my main, so talk about guitars. I got some guitars back here. Let me grab one. So this is my main guitar. I've had this guitar. It was a gift. Some friends of mine commissioned this guitar to be built. This guitar was built by Jim Carlson in St. Joseph, Missouri. He built, I don't know, he built for several years and then quit. And so he's done building, so you can't get him to build one of these. This guitar is called an LH Bluesman. It has this written on the truss rod cover there. LH was Larry Howard, and Larry was a friend of mine that was, he actually worked on my first two albums, Honey and the Rock and Something Better. Larry was in the band, the Southern rock band Grinder Switch, and Grinder Switch was a Southern rock staple. They played one gig at Grant's Lounge in Macon, Georgia, and the second gig was opening for the Allman Brothers at the Atlanta Pop Festival in 1970. But anyway, Larry worked with Jim on the design of this guitar, and it started its life out as a Tele, G's, which I hated. And nothing against that, it just wasn't my thing. So I put Tele pickups in it, and I didn't really ever use it. I wasn't digging on Teles back then. And then I put humbuckers in it, and then I ended up with Lawlertron pickups, and I love these. This guitar, just, I've got all these other guitars, and I pick them up and try them out, and I always go back to this one. The neck profile fits my hands perfectly, and so I love it. It's just one of those deals, and I've played it for, man, I don't know. I think I got this guitar in maybe 2003, 2004, something like that. I have two of these. I have a kind of a orange blonde color of this guitar, and it started out as a Strat. Sherry bought it for me for a birthday present, and Jim had built it for a guy and had all this elaborate pearl inlay, and it had no fret markers. And when the guy got it, he's like, I can't play without fret markers. He didn't know that. And so I bought it with no fingerboard and no pickups. And it started as a Strat with Fralins. And then I got on this P90 kick. And so I put 3 P90s in it, which I wish I wouldn't have done that, but I did it. And it's a monster guitar. I play it a lot of times in open G. So this is really the main thing that I play. I'll show you a couple others since you're on here. There's 3 of you on here. So I have this, which I actually have. This is a clone of a 67 Tele that I have that I bought for $125 in 1973. I sold my Les Paul Deluxe that I wish I had. It's tobacco brown. I wish I had that back, and I bought a 67 Tele and a pedal steel, which I played for a while. But this I commissioned Dave Seif at Seif Guitars. Dave's not building anymore, but Seif lives on. A couple of his proteges have it, the twin brothers over there. And so this is a Seif, and it's got Fralin pickups in it. I like Fralin pickups. It has something very special. It has this knob on it, which makes this guitar super special. That's the shift pattern for a 3 on the tree shifter. So that makes it very special. But I'm playing this guitar now tuned down to D, because I'm playing a thing for April 17th at Knuckleheads that we're calling Sunday's Coming, a resurrection celebration. And I'm doing the Buddy Miller song called Shelter Me, if you know that song. And he plays down tune. So anyway, I'm playing that down tune. And so that's that. I will show you this since I'm getting ready. I'm playing this actually a week from Sunday at Knuckleheads, and it's not in tune or I'd let you hear it. But this is a 1930 Stromberg guitar, and it was a gift. And it was a gift from my dad. It's been in my life forever. I posted a couple of videos about this guitar. It was in pieces forever, and I tried to get it just put back together to just have as a piece of art and hang on the wall. And I took it to Keith George, was a noted luthier. His dad was a luthier, second generation. And Keith said, I told him, hang it on the wall. He goes, no, it's going to play. And so he took the guitar and started working on it. And then, unfortunately, he was very sick, very ill, and passed away. And his apprentice, a guy in Platte City, Missouri, Ed Bassinet, called me and said, hey, I got this guitar, and I want you to know I'm going to put it together. So the cool thing about this guitar is that it was my dad, Pete. He carried this on his back through World War II. And so it's got all the guys he served with, names are carved all over it. His name, Pete, is here. His nickname during the war was Dusty, and it's carved right here. So I'm going to actually be playing this at Knuckleheads a week from Sunday on the 13th, I believe it is. And maybe I'll have it there on the 17th when we're there also. This guitar was a gift, and it's a 1965 SG Special. I played it a couple of times. I'm not real fond of the neck profile. It's just a little small, but I'm getting used to it. This thing sounds fantastic. I've got all the original pieces. I took the Bigsby, or the what do they call those? The Maestro bar off of it, and put a compensating bridge on it so it'd make it more playable. But I have all the parts. It's got new tuners on it, but it's got no brakes. It's all original. And again, it was a gift. I have all these guitars that were gifts, and I have a story about that. I bought this a couple of years ago. I bought this guitar, and it's an Eastman. And I just was wanting like a Les Paul double cutaway junior P90. This has a Lawler P90 in it, and that's the way it came from the factory. And I got this guitar like in 2020, and I'm like, I got it, and I opened the case, and there's a certificate of authenticity in there, and it says made in Beijing, China, or wherever they're made at. And I'm like, there ain't no way I'm playing this guitar. But I love the guitar. And one day I was watching a video on YouTube of the factory, and I got to looking at the people building these guitars. They make like high-end cellos and different things. But I got to looking at the folks building these guitars, and I'm like, man, those are just people like me, just trying to make a living, living their lives, raising a family, and have zero influence in what's going on with their culture. But they're building these great instruments. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to dig this thing out, start playing it. So anyway, I use this in an open G tuning. I play a hybrid open G tuning because I'm lazy. And it is D, G, D, G, D, G. So it's ones and fives from the fifth string down. But so it's like playing a big power chord, just bam, and you got all those things. But I'm lazy, and so I play it that way. It's it's just the way I do it. And I play this. I'm doing some dates with my friend Rick Gibson. He has a band called Ozark, and he plays a lot in open G. And so I'm playing this as his second guitar player. I'm not singing. I'm just playing guitar. Thought it would be a fun gig. So these things rock. I'm real impressed with these guitars. The finish it's very fragile. Let's put it this way. It's not like a finish. I don't think. It's maybe got some lacquer on it. But man, you just look at it and there's a nick coming out of it. So it comes in a great case. It's worth the money. And this is my original second guitar, our third guitar I've ever owned. It's a 64, 3 or 4, I don't know, uh, SG Junior. And my daddy traded a car for this guitar, and it's been refinished 3 times, but this is the original finish. It's hard to believe, but we were able, with Dave Sife's help, I was able to strip this down to the original finish. We had to repaint the back of the neck and some of these horns because it just wouldn't come off. But the body of the guitar is the original finish. And again, I have all the pieces for it. I played this on a bunch of my albums, on lead solos and different things. This is like my favorite tone for a guitar, and I don't know why I don't play it more. But put a compensating bridge on it, got rid of the maestro, vibrato, and just do that stuff. So anyway, that's some of the things that's going on around here. I'm trying to put this pedal board together because I want all of everything I'm stepping on, I want on the first row. So I mean, that's just the way I roll. It's like I need to not be doing much dancing because I am singing and I am fronting the band and I'm playing guitar, and so it's it's just a lot of dancing. So I'm trying not to do it. But anyway, I wanted to just stop on here and say, hey, thanks for the few of you that joined in. If you have any questions, again, you can contact me on social media. I try to respond to everything there. For sure, if you go to my website and respond there, just there's contact page, it comes to my desk and I'll be glad to respond. I am working on new music and have a bunch of prison gigs coming up as well as live gigs. Of course, you can't come to the prison gigs, but the live gigs we have the 17th of April and June 13th at Knuckleheads right now on the calendar. And we'll be doing several more dates at Knuckleheads this year. So thanks for hanging out, and see you soon. Adios.